I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Makki joins us. Hi.
Hello.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Makki. I am a cybercat VTuber who streams to Twitch, and I'm also active on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, pretty much any other social media you can think of.
You can find Makki on your toaster if you do it just right.
Yeah, exactly.
Depends on what type of bread you use. So when did you get started with the VTuber thing?
I actually started VTubing earlier this year, probably around February.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I had streamed for a couple years, but not as a VTuber. I just used like a PNG to stream.
Right.
But yeah, I got fully started in VTubing in February.
So you got a taste of it before you dove in.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the way you got to do it. You got to make sure you're committed before you make the jump.
Yeah, financially and otherwise.
Exactly.
It does make a little difference when you do that. Did you when you started doing the PNG tubing, was there anything that particularly drew you in, or did you just kind of fall into it?
So I had kind of grown up watching like Let's Players and stuff on YouTube who would make videos that were, just them playing games. And I watched a lot of them grow from super small, like maybe 50 subscribers, just kind of streaming with a headset mic to, these really big, almost like household names in a sense. So, I just kind of, I got inspired by their success stories and saw, the way their communities interacted and thought that it would be something that would be nice to try out for myself.
You like getting in front of audiences?
I did a lot of acting and theater when I was a kid. I did a lot of like choir, that sort of thing, speech, anything that had to do with fine arts. You could probably find me there while I was growing up.
I was the other way. I was in not so fine arts. anything I was in was not good enough to watch. Believe me, it was the absolute other way around. But I've talked to some folks who have been theater kids or drama kids or that type of thing in school, and then eventually got into this sort of thing. Out of high school, did you take any more types of classes into that sort of medium?
Yeah, out of high school, so I went to college. I went to university right out of high school, and I did take a couple more acting classes in my first years of college. And then after that, I kind of got, super busy as a college student and everything, so I kind of ended up falling off that track of things. So I guess, the whole streaming content creation thing was also kind of another way for me to be able to easily pick that back up in a way.
Scratch that itch.
Yeah.
Well, what about since you have the background in in acting classes and such, and you have obviously a very good voice? What about voice acting?
I have never really done any kind of voice acting, but it looks like fun. Like if I could find somewhere to do that, I would 100% be down.
Yeah, but that sounds like it'd be kind of up your alley if you had the right section to do it. And now with everybody being able to kind of do it from their homes.
Exactly.
You don't have to travel to Los Angeles to do this sort of thing.
I could set up my own home studio.
There you go. Or if it's like me, you just find a closet that your wife hasn't put a whole lot of things in and just stuff it in there.
Hey, that works too.
That works. As far as the games that you're playing, what are the games you usually are streaming?
I play all kinds of games. I definitely call myself a variety streamer, but I still have games that I kind of tend to flock to. I do like to play a lot of horror games. In October, I usually try to do a whole month of just a bunch of different scary games and stuff. Um, Outside of that, I also like to play FPS games,
Hmm.
or I also like to play indie games, and my community also really enjoys watching me play just like silly random games that we find that look like fun, that, just kind of a one-off thing.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of those too.
You'll suffer through that for a while and then
Yeah.
go on to the next one. And
Yep.
and Fortnite.
Oh yeah, Fortnite too. That's a
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah. As if you go to the Twitch page right now, there is a featured clip that is entitled "I hate this game."
I hate it, but I love it.
What brings you back to it if it causes you so much grief?
I, you know, that's a great question. Fortnite's really good at keeping it fresh and changing it up and releasing updates every now and then. So
Yeah.
I guess that'd be it.
Yeah, they do. They have done a good job of keeping it as fresh as possible.
Yeah, yeah,
For a fairly simple concept.
yeah.
And I've got a coworker at the money making job that when she gets off work, she goes right to Fortnite.
I yeah,
And
I can see that for
yeah,
sure.
and hopefully she gets back to work the next day afterwards. But it's very easy to get into. Um, as far as you're also doing some the Kingdom Hearts stuff here recently.
Yeah, yeah. That's a series that I played, let's see. I guess on the PlayStation 2 is when it originally came out.
Hmm.
Yeah, that became one of my favorite games of all time. Well, series, I guess. And I just I don't know, I kind of decided to pick it back up and relive memories, and it's a good, very long series, so it'll give me lots of content, I'm sure.
Yeah. Do you pick games based on what do you think that folks will want to watch you play it, or games that you just want to play?
I think a little bit of both.
Mhm.
If there's a game that comes out that a lot of people are playing and, everybody seems to be having fun with, I'll definitely look into it. But I think I probably prefer to just kind of stick with things that seem interesting to me, because that means I'll be having fun, and if I'm having fun, then everyone else is having fun too.
Yeah, it's exactly the way to do it. I think it's always if you're not showing interest in what you're doing, no one else is going to have interest either. And
Right, right.
and maybe if you do, maybe if you start off one of those indie games that you're playing and it's just a, a riotous crash and terrible, that's kind of funny the first time, but
Yeah.
don't do the same game two or three times in a row. have
Yeah.
have the same problems because everybody's just going to get as frustrated as you are by then. The any games coming up that that you're really looking forward to?
Um, so there's one that just came out. It's actually a DLC for the game Elden Ring.
Uh-huh.
I've never played an Elden Ring game. They look very, very difficult, and I think I would probably be very frustrated playing them. But I've had much of my community say to me that they think it would be hilarious. So we might have to end up going down that route.
So you're willing to sacrifice yourself for the community in that sort of
Sure, sure.
watch me die.
Exactly.
It seems like you've got a pretty good bunch of folks following you from stream to stream. How long did it take for you to build up a good foundation?
Um, so in the beginning when I was just doing PNG tubing, it was definitely a little slower. I did have a few people, maybe one or two here and there that would pop in to stream, and join the Discord and hang out for a while.
Yeah.
Um, there's definitely a few that I consider good friends now. Honestly, when I started actually VTubing earlier this year is kind of when things started to pick up a little bit.
Mhm.
And I've seen a good bit of growth since February this year, and our Discord has grown, and our numbers on Twitch have grown, and
Yeah.
so I've definitely picked up a bit in the past few months.
So how do you use TikTok in regards to your Twitter account?
Um, I usually will post clips from stream there that I've edited.
Hmm.
Uh, if something silly happens in stream or something really cool happens in stream, I'll make a note of the time
Oh.
and then go back later and edit it together and make it look awesome and then post it to TikTok or Instagram and hope to grab some people from those platforms as well.
Well, that's a good idea because you've got that's basically advertising is what it is.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
you'll that we did it in radio, and it'll happen in every. I consider these broadcasts, although some people don't. Um, give highlights, and this is what you can find if you come to my channel.
Yeah,
This is the type of
exactly.
things that happen. So I think it's just a good idea, whether you're doing it on that or the YouTube Shorts, that type of thing. Um, I don't see you on YouTube. Is there a reason for that, or are you looking to do that?
I I do actually have a YouTube channel.
Oh,
It should be under the same name as everything else, but
well,
maybe I made it under a different name.
I'm looking at your Twitch right now, and it doesn't have it listed there on the front. So
Oh, huh.
yeah, it's got
Guess I'll have to put it there.
it's got Twitter, Throne, TikTok, Ko-fi, cable, satellite, and most radio stations, but it doesn't say it doesn't say YouTube.
I do usually end up posting the same things that I post to TikTok and Instagram to YouTube, so it
Mm.
is just kind of a third way, I guess, for people to discover me.
Well, it's a way to do it, and and some people use the Discord and collaborations as well. Have you been able to do collaborations, and have they been successful?
I haven't done any collaborations yet with other VTubers.
Hmm.
I mostly have done collabs with people in my server where we just kind of hang out and play games together, or maybe we do like a community night where we play like Jackbox games or
Yeah.
something like that. But I haven't really had any opportunities yet to collab with other VTubers, so I'm definitely on the lookout for anybody that wants to collab.
Is it has it just been not no opportunity, no time? Just
I'm not sure, honestly. I haven't I don't know. I guess
mm,
I'm just not super great at reaching out to people. I've always kind of been a little on the shy side for
mm,
sure.
yeah,
Which I don't think a lot of people would realize that by watching my content, but it's true.
yeah. I mean, were you? I mean, is this something as VTubing and before that PNG tubing helped you get out of that in real life?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm,
I feel like uh you know, streaming in general is kind of I mean, I guess it's kind of like just hanging out with a bunch of new friends, but
mm,
like on your own terms, in your own kind of space where you can set your own rules and
right.
stuff like that. So, uh, I think that streaming regularly has definitely helped me, come out of my shell a little bit and just be a little more social in
Mm,
general,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. I'm glad to hear that. There's some folks that it does happen for, um, and I'm not looking for someone to go from a wallflower to somebody out in the middle of the dance floor. But uh, it it
Yeah.
it should it's glad to see that it's influencing in a positive way outside the stream as well. Um,
Yeah.
how how much of a part of your life is VTubing at this point?
I mean it's honestly a bigger part than I expected it to be.
Hmm.
I do I know there are a lot of VTubers and content creators out there that do use this as like their full-time job.
Hmm.
I haven't quite made it there yet, so I do work during the day and,
Hmm.
uh as long as I'm not doing something else after work, something important, then I will probably be streaming. So I guess you can kind of call it like half and half at this point. I do also spend a lot of my time during the day at work, maybe editing clips or doing something to that end. So
Now,
it's definitely a bigger part than I thought it would be.
no one from work is listening to this, okay?
Oh gosh, I hope not.
No, the entire part of you're doing this on your own, right? This editing part and finding your
Yeah.
own clips. How
Mhm.
tough is that? People who don't know anything about this don't know anything about it. But say you do a stream, and how do you come up with the clips that you want to put on to say TikTok?
I kind of like I said earlier, I'll make a note if something happens in stream. I'll press. I have a little button
Wow.
that I can press that will like mark the time on the stream.
Hmm.
So I'll usually just do that, and maybe the next day I'll go in and watch where I marked and kind of pick out my favorite moments from all of those, and then mash it together. Sometimes it even ends up being like a clip of multiple moments that I managed to put together and make it look like one, so it
Hmm.
works out even better.
How long does that take?
It depends. Most of my clips, like most of my edited clips, end up being maybe about anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute.
Hmm.
Um, Editing that takes a lot longer than 30 seconds to a minute. Probably, I'd say maybe a couple hours or so to edit down into a 30-second clip.
Boy, yeah. People don't realize that. Be like, oh, it's 10 seconds. They just click two buttons and that was it. No,
Right? Nope.
that's not how it works. And I had experience editing the old videotape stuff,
Ooh,
the inch and a half tape that they used to use
wow.
for videos. Yeah, I mean that was literally cut and paste. And if you mess that up, you
Hmm.
messed it up, and it doesn't come
Hmm.
back. But it is a little easier now as far as that goes. But you can still mess it up. I mean,
Oh
um,
yeah, definitely.
you better have a backup somewhere available, and it's not going to be right away because there's quality issues, there's time issues. Um, it's not just hit the button and go, and then you have to upload it and make sure it's uploaded correctly, and
Hmm.
there's a lot of extra work to do, and that's why the some of the biggest folks have other people clip for them.
Yeah, I've thought here and there about maybe seeing if I could hire someone to edit some clips for me, but honestly, at the end of the day, I enjoy doing it.
Hmm.
So even if I you know, end up doing all my editing for the rest of the time that I'm streaming and content creating, I don't think it'd be too bad.
Well, you do have control of it then, for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and that is something. But the the amount of extra time that folks put on it, it's the people who watch like, oh, they just turn the microphone on, turn the computers on, and go. There is prep time, and there is other time that you end up putting into it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And people need to realize it's not just turn it on and go. There's
Yeah, yeah,
there are expenses involved too sometimes, and up,
absolutely.
upkeep of the computers and that type of thing. That
Yep.
the the old days it was oh my disk drive is gone. It'll be 7 months before the new one comes in. Um, it- but the I don't think people realize just how much work there is into getting a consistent stream going, and it sounds like you've been able to keep that consistency going.
Yeah, it definitely has its moments where, it's kind of just like, you know, almost kind of a what am I doing this for sort of feeling. Everyone kind of has those moments where it's like, I've been keeping up with this for so long, and but, to what end?
Hmm.
But you definitely just you got to find a way to keep pushing through, because there's always somebody out there who's looking for, exactly what you bring to the table. That's kind of how I like to look at it.
I like that. That's a very good way of looking at it, and and just because you don't, if you look down and look at the numbers and it's not particularly a big number, um, it doesn't mean you're not doing it. You're doing this for nothing, because
Right.
if that's somebody who's had the worst day of their life, and the best thing they've got is to, and they've put it on your shoulders to help them through.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, the other way around too. I could be having not such a great day, but I turn on stream and say hello to some friends and some new people even, and suddenly everything's okay again, you know?
Yeah. Some folks say, well, you shouldn't lean on your audience like that. I think that's, I'm sorry, but pure BS. It's a give and take.
Yeah.
You're on there. You're not just on there for your health, but this is kind of for your health.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to be able to go on and communicate and shoot the garbage around with people, and play a game and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing that. Is there any part right now that's frustrated you about being a VTuber?
You know, I can't really think of anything specifically. I mean, outside of, those times that you mentioned where sometimes, you look at numbers or whatnot and you're just kind of like, it's not the greatest stream I've had, or not the, the most people I've had in stream. It gets frustrating sometimes, but I mean, outside of that, I've been having a great time.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear, and it's still enjoyable for you, and you're still creating memories that people are going to remember, and you're going to remember too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, what is you've been doing this for a little while now in different versions. What is the one moment that absolutely floored you while you were streaming? There's got to be something that just went right off the rails.
Let's see. There was a moment not too long ago, where I was playing a game on stream, and somebody raided my channel. They sent their viewers over to my channel to, say hi and send their community over. So I thanked them and said hi to everybody. And as I'm doing that, someone else raids my channel, and so I had to say thank you again and say hi to their community as well. And not too long after that, a third person raided my channel, and I was just like, I was super grateful, and I was so glad to see everybody there, but I was also just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. There's so many people here. I just got 3 raids back to back. Oh my gosh. It was a very interesting experience, but I was really thankful to those people for trusting me with their communities and sending people over, and it ended up being a really fun stream for the rest of the time.
Each time somebody raids, your voice goes slightly higher.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Oh, thank you very much. Pretty soon it's Minnie Mouse doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's great to see that you're enjoying yourself, and you got a really good head about doing these things. Long term, what is your goal for the channel? Do you have a long term?
Really long term?
Yeah, I mean, what do you want to? What would be the optimist thing you want with your channel?
I mean, I think it would be really, really cool if I did end up getting to do like full-time content creation. It's not something that I'm necessarily like super pushing for right now, but like if I can make it happen, that'll be super awesome. Honestly, I think just the biggest thing I want to do is like have a positive impact on the, other people, on the whole community, if I can do that. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it.
Well, if you've listened to this interview, you know what a positive person I've been talking to, and you can hear it in their voice. You got to check out and see what Makki's got going on. We're going to have the links in the description for the interview. Thank you so much for coming on. And if you got some big events coming up, come back and we'll talk about them, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.